Today we're bringing you a preview of Batman: The Dark Knight Returns board game from Cryptozoic Games. I'm Mark Maya. Welcome to Board Game Coffee.
Get back here this instant!
Thank you. Oh, I love you too. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you. Thank you.
Batman: The Dark Knight Returns board game is the longest title for a board game that we've ever had on this show. So, in anticipation of its success, here are some working titles that I've thrown together for future expansions. Batman: The Dark Knight returns once again to deliver justice, the board game. Batman: The Dark Knight Returns Ultimate Batman Director's Cut expansion. And my personal favorite, Batman: The Dark Knight Returns Turbo Deluxe 2 Limited Gold Gotham Anniversary Edition, the board game. I can't wait. But till then, we'll have to be happy with the Dark Knight game we got. And what we got is a solo player, resource management, mission-driven experience that follows the story of the Dark Knight Return books by Frank Miller. In The Dark Knight Returns, you play as Batman as he struggles to bring order to Gotham City. If you're not already aware, Gotham has never really been a good place to raise your kids, or even a small garden, or really anything for that matter. It's just a bad place. Just don't go there. In The Dark Knight Returns, the city is in worse shape than ever. Let me paint you a picture of our current predicament. Jason Todd, the second version of Robin, is brutally murdered. Not a spoiler, this all happened years before our story takes place. But this tragic event did send Batman into retirement for the next 10 years, during which time crime ran rampant. This is where our story starts off. It's the mid-1980s, Reagan's in office, and Batman, now in his 50s, has decided that he's had enough and it's time to put on the cowl and return to the streets to fight crime. And here we are. Please note that everything you see is in its prototype state, so no cool minis just yet, or even those crazy Batarang dice. Before we get into what this is, there are a few things you should know. First and foremost, this map of Gotham City is coded with the latest in Wayne Tech dry erase technology. So you can write anything you want on it and it just wipes away. Now, let's give you a quick and dirty rundown on how this plays. Ready? Here we go. Each book has a story with a mission that needs doing. You have 16 turns to accomplish said doings, so do it quickly. The game is made up of 4 rounds, and in each round you have 4 turns. Start a round by constructing the event deck. Some of these cards you keep, and the rest make up your event deck. Once that's done, assign values to these 4 windows totaling 7. Why? We'll get back to that in a bit. When your turn starts, flip over an event card and apply whatever nasty effect is written in this box. Now it's time to move the good guys around, trigger their special effects, pick a fight with mutants, dirty cops, or both, and perform one of the actions at your current location. You can also use detective cards along the way to do things like create a shortcut by drawing your own bat path, clear some scumbags out of a particular location, or take a peek at clue objectives, just to name a few. Once all that's done, head over to the GCPD track to see what kind of hell is breaking loose around the city. Spawn adversaries in locations indicated for this turn equal to the number you wrote earlier in this space. See, I told you we'd get back to it. Now move the turn tracker down and start a new turn. Once you've done that 4 times, finish the round, create another event deck, and do it all over again. There's more to the game that I didn't cover, like press tokens that get in Batman's way, or how fighting dirty cops lowers your grit, or how you gain fight cards every time you pick a fight. But that should give you a good rough idea of how all this works. Oh, and there's also vehicles that can be used as powerful one-time abilities per book. One of the primary aspects of the Dark Knight experience that I want to bring to your attention is the construction of the event deck. You see, every card has a positive effect if you keep it, and a negative effect if you don't. So when you're creating the event deck and choosing what cards you keep and which cards you don't, you're actually determining your own fate. Because you can't keep all the cards, no matter how much you want to. And all the cards you don't keep end up in your event deck, and they will come back to haunt you. But at least in this situation, you do get to pick your ghosts. The Dark Knight Returns is broken up into 4 books, which you'll play in order. In the first book, you're tasked with putting a stop to whatever it is Two-Face is up to. But to do that, you're gonna have to shake down some mutant thugs for information, and each new lead you get will get you one step closer to locating Two-Face. But Gotham is a city that never sleeps. While you're out there beating up mutants and dodging press and dealing with dirty cops, other locations around the city are having their own little meltdowns that could eventually break out into riots. It just keeps getting worse. But at least you're not alone. Well, it's a solo game, so in that aspect, Yes, you're alone, but as Batman, you're not. Throughout your experience, you'll encounter allies with their own unique abilities that will help you along the way. In Book 1, you'll have Commissioner Gordon to move around the board and clear out the press. And if you team him up with Batman, you can instantly quell a riot. Very useful. Other books will offer up new allies with different abilities, but I'll let you discover those on your own. Because, to be honest, I don't know what they do either. In my playthrough of Book 1, I focused on finding clues that would lead me to Two-Face. Sure, I dealt with the odd riot along the way, but I let 4 districts to fall into complete disarray. Because, and here's the thing, there's so much crime in Gotham that it's impossible to deal with all of it. So you have to pick and choose your battles, and sometimes that means letting the bad guys overtake one of the locations on the map while you focus on the task at hand, stopping Two-Face. And I did exactly that. I collected the clues, tracked him down to the location, and put the hurt on both his faces. Pow pow. Back to Arkham, you psycho. Sure, I left the city in a bit of a mess, but the boss is locked up, so mission accomplished. Time to pack up all the little bits and start Book 2 with a clean slate. Wrong, this is Gotham, motherfucker. Ain't nothing easy here. You see, my approach of letting the city burn as I cut my way through to the guy in charge didn't solve the overall problem of Gotham's insane crime levels, and actually made it worse. Now, all those mutants, dirty cops, and riots that I let flare up all over the city are going to follow me into Book 2. So there is no clean slate. This is a city whose current state I am directly responsible for. The sense of my past, despite them making things easier at the time, will definitely come back to haunt me in all the books to come. The goal of The Dark Knight Returns isn't to solve all of Gotham's problems. There's no utopia in your future. Your goal is to endure and reach the end of your story. But do you have what it takes? If this sounds like a game you'd be interested in, check them out on Kickstarter. Thanks for joining us. If you like this video and you want to see more, subscribe to our channel. It's the best way to keep up to date with everything we do here at Board Game Coffee. But if you want to see more right now, we got plenty of videos to choose from. And if that's not enough, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm Mark Maya, and this is Board Game Coffee. And remember, have fun, keep gaming, be social. See you next week.